Here we go.
Money, money, making crap for money, money, and money, money.
Welcome to the channel, everybody, and today we are replacing what is known as a heater core. Now, the vehicle of choice that we are using today is a 2022 Ram 1500. I would say these are probably the easier heater cores that I've done in my career. Now, this job pays about 8 hours to do, so let's get right to it. So first thing we're going to do is evacuate the coolant from the system with the help of a main man Corey, using our coolant machine that we have set up right here. So now that we have evacuated the coolant system and we have taken out the coolant reservoir, and now it's time for us to remove part of the intake system, which is attached to the throttle body, in order to make room for us to evacuate the HVAC system. Now, for this process, we will be using the wonderful 1234YF machine. Now, this is a very timely machine. A lot of the new vehicles use this setup instead of the old R134A setup. So, and it's crazy because none of us really like using the machine because it takes so long to use, but we have no choice with these new vehicles. Now, there are two clamps, one on the air box that you've seen right there, and there's one on the throttle body, which you can loosen those up with an 8mm socket. And then there's a 10mm nut that's right below the intake. So once you loosen those, the intake should come off. And there's also a connector right on the side of that intake. Now that we have evacuated our HVAC system using our wonderful 1234YF machine, now it's time to start removing our nuts on our firewall for our heater core. And those are 10mm nuts. There's about 4 of them. So for this next part, you're going to have to remove your AC lines from your expansion valve, which I pointed out in the video with a red arrow. The next step is to remove this unit right here, because there are two 10mm nuts located on the firewall to remove our dash for our heater core right behind it. And I'm going to point out those two locations in the video coming up very shortly. So the first one's going to be located right about here, and then the second one. Then you will have to remove your rubber hoses from your heater core, which is located right here. And then the two rubber hoses you can remove. I usually cut them with a razor blade. They give you enough hose to put it on after cutting it. So then locate your third one, which is located here, right down there. And once you get those removed, then you have these top two 10mm bolts, which are right underneath your panel where your wiper blades are. The first one's going to be located here. And then the second one is going to be located right underneath that panel on the driver's side. You just pull up the little pull tabs. You can lift that up with either a pry bar or screwdriver, get right in there and get those bolts out. So now that we're on the inside of the vehicle, we're gonna have to move some panels, our radio, and our steering wheel to get this dash out. So we're gonna start up here by this windshield. There has a panel right here. Remove those. There's two 10mm bolts hidden under there. Then we're gonna go over to the radio, and under this rubber mat, there's two 7mm bolts. Remove those, and you can pop the radio right out. Then you have your two side panels, one on the passenger side and one on the driver's side, which are held down by two 10mm bolts. Then you're going to want to start disconnecting your connectors underneath the driver's side and the passenger side. There's not many, just a few. But now I have these two cups right here. I love using my cups. They're great for organizing bolts whenever you're working on the inside of the vehicle. One on the left, one on the right. That way I know which bolts go on the left side of the vehicle and which go on the right side of the vehicle. All the bolts are pretty much the same, so you're never going to mix and put different bolts in the wrong spot. So now that we have taken out our radio, and this radio has very annoying clips in the back of it, This little red one right here, it's like hard plastic. Now I say this all the time, they do not make cars to be worked on with guys with big hands, because some of can't get into very tight spaces. But when taking this off, you don't want to force it. Take your time and give it a little pressure and it will come off. Now, when putting this radio back together, it's kind of hard to put the wires in the wrong spot. They have special tabs that go in with these plugins, and they're color coordinated. So the blue one will go with the blue one, the white one will go with the white one, and so forth, and with all the other colors. Just match them up, and you will have no problem putting this radio back on. So now that we go back up to the top of the dash, you can see our panel right here that we pulled it off. We have one hole right here with 1 10mm bolt right there, and the other one is over on the passenger side. Then the two 7mm bolts for the radio, take those off and you pull the radio right off. So now we're going to be removing our center console, and you see this cover right here. Now the cover, there's 4 covers. There's 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. You got 2 on the driver's side, 2 on the passenger side. So you remove that cover, it's a 10mm bolt to remove that. Then you're going to want to have to pull your seat forward to see the 2 in the back. But once you pull the seat forward, you got those 2 10mm bolts in the back. And then there are 2 more hidden bolts close right here by the radio. There are 2 hidden bolts for this center console, one on the driver's side, one on the left side, located right there. Once you remove those, you can actually slide your center console right back. Slide it right back to the back seat. It also has 2 connectors, one gray one and one black one. You want to make sure you remove those for your center console to not rip the wire. So now that we get to this part, you can start removing your side panels, on one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side, to have access to 3 bolts. On this driver's side, you're going to have 3 13mm bolts bolted in on top of a smaller bolt, which is a 7mm that's going to be bolted in. So you're going to want to start removing those bolts on the side there. Like I said, 3 on the driver's side, 2 on the passenger side. Then after that, you can begin to remove your lower panels on the bottom of the dash, and then start to lower your steering column. There's 4 13mm bolts on the steering column to just drop that down. You can have that sit right there on the floor, and then start disconnecting your connectors. Now the driver's side is more annoying than the passenger side, but not too complicated. So after all your bolts have been removed, your connectors have been disconnected, this is what your dash should look like. Now right here in the video, this is where the 4 nuts, as you can see, are located on the steering column. And once you take those off, you can set your steering wheel right there on the floor. These are the 2 side panels on the handles where the 2 10mm bolts were located. Now I'm gonna show you where the heater core is located on this vehicle. If we come over here on the passenger side, you will see the box that the heater core is located right here. Now, there is a 10mm bolt right there. If you remove that, that is the last bolt on the inside. Now right here, you see me struggling because there is the 4th bolt that I forgot to take off. Nut on the Firewall, and I will show you where that nut is located. So now that we have the box out with the heater core, I'm going to show you where that 4th nut was located on the Firewall. If you take a walk over here with me, I have it set over here. Now it's set up all the way over here, where on the driver's side on the vehicle. And now let's go take a walk over to the vehicle, and I'm going to show you exactly where this nut is located. It's kind of hard to see from here, but it's directly behind the engine. Now it is a tough nut to get to. When I ended up doing it, I had to use an open end 10mm wrench, and I'm turning little by little. It's actually directly underneath that top section on the nut on the wiring harness, directly underneath it. But right here is your heater core. Now to remove this from the box, you have a bracket that's held on by a Phillips screw, and also a Phillips screw located right in here. You have to take that off. Once you remove those 2 Phillips screws, this heater core literally comes right out. And this is what the new one looks like. Very small, nothing too big. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pop, once you remove that bracket and those two Phillip head screws, this comes right out, and then pop your new one in. Now, a sign of a bad heater core is if you turn your heat on and you smell coolant right through the vents, then that is a big indication that you have a bad heater core and it's time to get that replaced. Very simple process. Like I said, once you put it in, now just reverse your steps. This is one of the easier heater cores that I've done working on cars, but reverse the steps and this will go back no problem. So now that I have the heater core out, this is what it looks like. See that pinkish reddish stuff? That's the coolant leaking through the fins of the heater core. But other than that, just wanted to show you that. Like, share, subscribe. Also, leave a comment. Give me some feedback. Let me know what kind of cars you would like me to show you how to fix. But other than that, thanks for watching my channel. Please come again.